What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and achieving at least one of your goals today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Chevy Silverado HD. This particular one happens to be a 2500. Huge thank you to Duane Ferguson over at Koons, Tysons, Chevy, Buick, GMC for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Chevy Silverado HD or any GM product with the exception of Cadillac, I'll be sure to have Duane's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like I always do, first, let's talk about the exterior and the performance. So, like I said, this is a 2024 Chevy Silverado 2500 High Country, and this particular one has been painted in Summit White. One of the first things I wanted to say at the start of this video is that for 2024, the HD Silverado did get refreshed on the interior and on the exterior, and in my opinion, I think it looks and feels a lot better than the previous generation HD Silverados. But starting over here at our headlights, these are your new updated LED projector headlights with IntelliBeam. You also get LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights integrated into your front bumper. But now, working our way to the center of your hood, you get this massive and functional intake at the center of your front hood. You can see you get a chrome surround around it and your Chevrolet lettering at the center of it. Now, working our way down just a tad bit. Again, this is an updated grille for 2024 with a mix of chrome and satin chrome grille bars. I'll point out the chrome. So this is your actual chrome, and then all the other grille bars are more of a satin chrome design. And then obviously at the center of your front grille, you have your gold Chevy bow tie, and then just beneath that is where you will find your front camera with the camera washer. That camera works with your 360-degree view camera system that comes standard with the High Country. Now, working our way down just a little bit more, you get a body color front bumper with 4 integrated parking sensors. Those also come standard with the High Country. Now, at the center of your front bumper, excuse my voice crack, you get those 2 frame mounted recovery hooks, and then beneath that you get some satin chrome trim. And then if you were wondering about the ground clearance of the 2500 High Country, you get 10.1 inches of ground clearance. Now, this particular one has been optioned with the $325 Z71 off-road package, which gives you skid plates, and those skid plates protect your front underbody, your oil pan, your differential case, and your transfer case. And then one other thing I wanted to say while we were up here is that if you want the High Country but you're not a fan of all the chrome accents and stuff like that, there is an optional $1,690 Midnight Edition, which would essentially give you a black grille, black wheels, black trim, and basically everything that you can read on screen right now with that Midnight Edition. But coming on down the side with the optional Duramax, you get the Allison and the Duramax badging on the sides of your hood. Obviously with the High Country, you get these chrome High Country fender badging, and then beneath that, you get some satin black wheel arch moldings, or you get satin black wheel arch moldings. Now, like I just mentioned, this one has the $325 Z71 off-road package. And what you get with the Z71 off-road package in here is the off-road tuned suspension with the twin tube Rancho shocks. That's a closer look at those red Rancho shocks. And then working our way down just a tad bit, these are the standard 20-inch 12-spoke chrome wheels, and they are wrapped in the optional $295 275/65 BF Goodrich all-terrain KO3 tires. I think these tires look awesome. I love the sidewall on them, and they also just have a really aggressive tread pattern that you can see on screen right now. If you do not like these wheels, they're too much chrome, or you just don't like the wheel design, there are 8 other wheel options to choose from. So don't fret if you don't like these wheels. There are a ton of wheel options, and that's one thing I really like about GM is that they always just give you a ton of options with the wheels. So I really respect that. And then as standard with the High Country, you get rain sensing wipers as well as a body color shark fin antenna that is situated right above where the driver sits. And then this one has also been optioned with the $55 LED cab lights. Working our way into our side view mirrors, this one's a mouthful. You get chrome mirror caps with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors extend, they power fold, they're heated. You get perimeter lighting, which the perimeter lighting is right here on screen right now. They are also auto dimming, but just keep in mind, only only the upper mirrors are auto dimming. And then you also get blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. And then all the way at the bottom of your side view mirrors, about right there, you get some puddle lights as standard. And then you also get this camera right here that works with your 360-degree view camera system that I already mentioned comes standard with the High Country. Now let's do a little side profile shot of this massive truck. You got to see how far I got to step back in order to get the truck in the frame of the camera. This is a big truck. It feels big on the inside, which is awesome because you have a ton of space, but it's a pretty dang big truck. But you get chrome window trim as well as chrome door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, the keyless access function is only on your front 2 door handles. And then beneath that, you get stainless steel 2500 HD belt line molding. So it says 2500 HD on your front 2 doors. And then you can see it kind of carries through to your rear door. And then all the way at the bottom, you get these chrome assist steps. And these are standard with the High Country. And here's a closer look at what they look like here. And then working our way down the side, I do want to show you up top here first, and then we'll work our way down. So as standard with the High Country, you get a cargo camera. As standard, you also get LED cargo lights and a power sliding rear window. However, this particular one's been optioned with the $1,775 technology package, which gives you the rear view camera mirror. So the rear view camera mirror camera is located just to the left of your cargo camera. So cargo camera on the right, which is right there, the rear view camera mirror camera on the left. And then that's your power sliding rear window with the rear window defroster. Coming down here, you got your fuel door. That's where you put your diesel. That's where you put your def. And then underneath that, you have your bed step. You can step there. It makes it a little bit easier to access the front of the bed with that bed step right there. By the way, Ford totally copied GM with those bed steps. And then one thing that I really like is that behind all 4 of your wheels and tires, you get these mud flap looking things. So very nice. So it protects, you know, the vehicles behind you from rocks as well as mud and stuff like that. But working our way towards the back, you get these updated LED taillights. This particular one has been optioned with the $260 multi-flex tailgate. I'll get into that here in a second, but that is where you will find your backup camera. And then to the right of that, you have this little puddle light, and then underneath that, you have your gold bow tie emblem. Working our way into the multi-flex tailgate. If I press this button right here, the multi-flex tailgate will open up, and then you can also open up this piece right here. So let's say you go to Home Depot, get some 2x4s. This is gonna stop the 2x4s from sliding out the back. That's kind of hard to open and close, but then pressing the button underneath that, the actual tailgate will drop. This particular one has been optioned with the $545 gooseneck package, which gives you those bed holes with the caps, as well as this 4 and 7 pin connector here in the bed. This assist thing right here, it's like basically a grab handle. That also comes with the multi-flex tailgate. It makes it a little bit easier to step in and out of the bed with that multi-flex tailgate. Obviously, like I mentioned, LED cargo lighting comes standard. And then on this side, you get a 400-watt household power outlet, and then you get 3 tie downs in each corner for a total of 12. And it's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the bed area. Now, taking a look at our tailgate, you can see you get your chrome Silverado badging, your chrome High Country badging, and then coming down just a little bit, you get a body color corner step rear bumper. So just like what you find at the front of the bed, you get these corner steps on both sides, and again, you get a body color rear bumper with 4 integrated parking sensors. Moving into here, you get these things. So these are like your auxiliary things for the screen on the interior. So you can either have like your tire pressure monitoring system connect for your trailer's tire pressure monitoring system. You can connect that, and or you can connect a accessory camera that is mounted to your trailer. And then underneath that, you get a 7-pin connector. Obviously, you get a conventional trailer hitch. And then a couple things that I wanted to mention is that the max payload is 2,998 pounds. The max tow capacity with the conventional trailer hitch down here is 18,500 pounds. And then the max tow capacity with the gooseneck is 19,100 pounds. So very, very capable truck. You got a couple different towing options, whether you have like a fifth wheel, whether you have just a standard open trailer for your Dodge Demon or something like that. You have the opportunity to pull both of those trailers. So very, very nice. Let me know what you think of the 2024 redesign of the 2500 HD in the comments down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that optional $9,490 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel V8. That motor makes 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque, and it is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. This does come standard with a 6.6 liter gas-powered V8. So if you're not doing really, really heavy towing, that is a great motor, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have the torque of the diesel, obviously. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you've enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, I would really, really appreciate it. If you take a second, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. All right, well, moving on into the interior, like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing on that button right there. And then there were a couple things I wanted to show you that had to do with the key fob. So obviously on one side you have your bow tie, and then on the other side you have all your functions. So you have your unlock function, your lock function, your tailgate drop function there. Then you also have your panic function. You can see you also get a remote start function. So to remote start the vehicle, you lock it, and then you press the button under that button twice, and she fires right up. So let's take a look at what we got going on here on the driver's side door panel. I'm probably gonna have to turn it back off just because of the climate control system and just how loud the diesel is. So I'm gonna shut that back down, and now let's take a look at the door panel. So you get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest with some brown high country accent colored stitching. You get some wood grain trim, you get some aluminum looking trim, satin chrome looking door handle, unlocking your lock functions, 2 memory seat adjustment settings. You have your power side view mirror controls here. Pressing on that button is gonna power fold in or out your side view mirrors. So press that button out again, and I'll show you the next function once those are all the way out. If you press on this button right here, that's going to extend your side view mirrors 3.31 inches out. And obviously if you press that button again, they come right back in. That button is to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get automatic up and down windows in the front, but you only get automatic down windows in the back. And then you get a respectable amount of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel, and this beautiful Bose speaker surround. I mean, that looks awesome. By the way, the Bose sound system also sounds great as well. You get a brushed aluminum high country door sill right there. You get a power adjustable front driver's seat as well as a power adjustable front passenger seat. Here are all your seat controls. This is for your lumbar. And then you get your high country stitched into the headrest. There's a closer look at that. And then you also get some like accent colored perforation in the seat, which is like really cool to see here in person. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on camera, but essentially like inside those holes, it's kind of like a brown color. So it just gives you the, you know, view of brown and black. It looks really, really awesome. And then you get the stitching going down the center of the seat. And that's kind of about it for that. Now let's step into the interior, and you may be able to see what's new for the 2024 model year. So essentially what you get now is a 12.3 inch digital dash as well as a 13.4 inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. But we might as well fire her up from the interior. I'll show you what it sounds like with the door closed. Fire her up. And that is what it sounds like when you fire this beast up. So we're gonna start over here, and then we'll work our way throughout the interior. So turn my ventilated seat off. That is to turn your electronic parking brake on or off. And then over here, you have a 2-speed transfer case. So you get 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive low. You also get 4-wheel drive automatic, and obviously 2-wheel drive high. Underneath that, you have your drive mode selector. So when you twist to the right, you get your off-road mode. If you twist back to the left, you put get put in normal mode, and then clicking on that button right there is going to put you into your tow haul mode. And then just to the right of that, you have these lights on the outside of your mirror. So that is what happens on screen when you press that button right there. And then to the right of that, you have your cargo lights, but that also turns your spotlights on your side view mirrors as well. And then that is to dim the gauge cluster, that is to brighten the gauge cluster, and then that also dims and brightens your backlit buttons as well. Underneath that, you have your headlight control stock. So right now we are in headlights automatic. Click that to the left, that turns the automatic light control off. Twist that once to the right, that turns your parking lights on, and then all the way to the right is headlights in the always on position, and then that is to turn your fog lights on or off. Like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, this has been optioned with the $1,775 technology package. And what you get with the technology package is a 15-inch head-up display system, and here are your head-up display controls. So you can move the head-up display up or down with the push of that button right there. This is going to adjust the information seen on the head-up display. So I got to go into demo mode. Now we're in demo mode. So you can go in between your driver assistance stuff, your digital speedometer readout, your compass, your pitch and roll stuff, as well as your transfer case status, and or your digital speedometer readout. And then obviously all the way to the right, you can brighten and or dim your head-up display system as well. You do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. This is the high country, so I would have liked to see it power, but it's not. Basically what I mean by that, it'll come towards you, it'll go away from you, and then you can also move it up and down to your liking. But now let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what your turn signal sounds like. Clicking on the button all the way on the end of your turn signal control stock turns your IntelliBeam on or off. IntelliBeam is automatic high beams. Then that's also your windshield wiper control stock. Zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel. You get some accent colored stitching on the inside of the steering wheel. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to that. That is what the horn sounds like on the 2500 Silverado. Now, on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, this particular one, like I mentioned, has been optioned with the technology package. And what you also get with the technology package is adaptive cruise control. So here are your adaptive cruise control settings. And then as standard with the high country, you get a heated steering wheel. So that is what that button does right there. And then on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have these buttons and this scroll knob, all to control your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. And then that is to pick up on a phone call, that is to hang up on a phone call. And then behind this side of the steering wheel, you have your tuning controls. And then behind this side of the steering wheel, you have your volume controls. Obviously, you get a steering wheel or a steering column shifter right there. And then these buttons are to upshift and or downshift on the transmission. But now let's move into our gauge cluster. So like I said, for the third time now, this is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. It is customizable. Right now, this is the screen that we're on. So digital speedometer readout, you got your analog speedometer over there, compass at the center. Get your tachometer on this side with your drive modes at the center. Transmission status stuff down here. Get your fuel gauge, you get your fuel range, you get your coolant temperature. That lets us know that our lights are on at the moment. And then that is like your seatbelt status stuff, letting us know who is buckled and or unbuckled. And then that's like your lane centering stuff. But again, this is a customizable gauge cluster. Last but not least, that's your odometer right there. Again, this is a customizable gauge cluster. So going over to here, you can go in between these different screens. You get your drive summary, trip 1, trip 2, timer, tire pressure, driver assistance, oil life, brake pad life, air filter life, fuel filter life, diesel exhaust fluid level, blank page, info page, options, and speed. Clicking over to the right, you got your music stuff, your compass, your phone, and all the way over you have your settings. So I wanted to show you this. You can go in between your different display layouts. So right now this is classic. This is gonna put us into progressive. Give it a second. So that's progressive. Go down one more, you have digital. This is your digital screen, and then all the way at the bottom you have your clean mode, which is basically just your digital speedometer readout. I'm gonna leave it in classic because that is the mode that it was in, but then you can also adjust like what is seen here. You can adjust what's seen here, and you can adjust what's down there as well. So you can go to left side information, right side information. Let's go into right side information, for example. So you can go put that into a compass, that stuff, tire pressure, all these different things. So you can adjust what you want to see there other than what it gives you from factory. So I think that's very cool. Tons of customization with this screen, works very, very well. Now moving over to here, you get a vinyl wrapped dash with some accent colored stitching. Great spot up here. You could set a tape measure, a phone, pens, pencils, and stuff like that. Coming down a little bit, again, this is also new for 2024, and this is the 13.4-inch infotainment system with the wireless Apple CarPlay and the wireless Android Auto. On the right-hand side of the screen, you have all your different shortcuts. So you got your, like, speak to the Google thing right there. So now it's speaking. And then you got your trailer stuff, your phone stuff, your Google Maps stuff, your audio stuff, and your home button. This is what your home screen looks like. So you have all these different buttons here. One thing I really wanted to show you was the camera. So you have a 360 camera. Then you can go in between all these different camera views here. These are your side cameras. Get your hitch camera. Go back over to here. You also have your cargo camera. That's what that looks like. So a ton of different camera views. Personally, the one I like to leave it in is this one right here. Personal preference, but that is what that is. This also is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle, and the Wi-Fi hotspot works phenomenally well. It's a very awesome system. That is what that looks like. You also have your climate that you can bring on the screen if you wanted to as well. However, you do get physical climate buttons down here, but I wanted to show you that's what the screen looks like with the climate control system on. And then on this side of the screen, you have kind of like a secondary menu. So you have your Google Maps stuff here, audio stuff. You also have trailer stuff and a clock, ambient exterior temperature, and the current time. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on in that screen. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but you also get a physical home button and a physical volume control knob there. You have all these different buttons down here. So that is to turn your exhaust brake on or off. That is to turn your lane keeping system on or off. That is to turn your parking sensors on or off. That is to drop your tailgate. Get your hazard button, traction button, and then with the $325 Z71 off-road package, you get hill descent control, and this is your hill descent control button here. Coming down a little bit more, you get your push button start button, get your integrated trailer brake controller here. This is what your climate control stack looks like. Dual zone climate. It does display the temperatures on the knobs themselves, which is always nice. Heated and ventilated seats come standard with the High Country. One thing that's cool, you can heat your back and your butt, or you can heat solely your back right there. And you have your ventilated seat functions, all with 3 levels of adjustability. All the way to the right of that, you get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, a ton of storage space down in here. So you can see you got your keys there. Zooming back a little bit, 2 cup holders, a spot you could set a phone that divides the 2 cup holders. This is what your center fold down armrest looks like. You can see you get your High Country badge there. It is leather wrapped. You get a ton of brown accent colored stitching. Opening this up, there's a ton of storage space in here. You also get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, a household power outlet over there, a wireless charging pad right here. Divider, you can take that divider out. You also get a nice little light down in here, and I would say about 45% of my forearm fits down in there, even when this divider is in there. One thing that's nice about the divider is that you could set your business cards down in there if you wanted to, and you can also set a phone in there if you wanted to. I'll put my phone in there for size reference. That's an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it fits in there no problem. There is just barely any wiggle room for it to be in there. Again, iPhone 14 Pro Max, it fits here as well. There's a closer look at that, and now it is charging. One thing that's pretty cool is that when the phone is charging, it lets you know on screen with that little green lightning bolt there on the phone itself, letting you know that the phone is charging in the wireless charging pad. A little bit of storage space over here. I'll put my phone in there again for size reference. Not all that much storage space down in there, but you can fit what you need to. Definitely bigger in Ford's storage space wise down in there. And then you get the same thing over here on the passenger's side as well. Moving over to here, you get an upper glove box with some wood trim. Clicking on that, that's your upper glove box. I'd say you could probably fit maybe 10 sausage McMuffins in there if you stacked one on top of the other. You also get a lockable lower glove box. Decent amount of storage space in there. You can fit what you need to besides your owner's manual, like the necessities like your snacks, your napkins, your straws, and stuff like that. Moving up top here, this is a part of the technology package, is the rear view camera mirror. So flip that back, and that is your rear view camera mirror. If you don't like the rear view camera mirror, however, you want this particular High Country, and it has this technology package, you can flip that forward, and now it's just going to behave like a regular auto dimming rear view mirror does. So very, very nice. However, I personally prefer this. Gets rid of the blind spots, and there's a ton of adjustability with it. So you can brighten it, you can dim it, you can go in, you can zoom out, you can zoom in. And then you can also move the orientation down. You can move the orientation up. So a ton of adjustability with the rear view camera mirror. That is an option that I personally really like. Then you got your OnStar stuff up top here. Lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off there. Obviously, both of these lights up front here are both LED. You get your universal garage door opener up top here. This particular one has been optioned with the $995 power sunroof. So this is what the sunroof looks like. It is not a panoramic sunroof, just your standard sunroof. And then you have your sunroof controls here. That is to tilt it, that is to slide it. And then this is for your power sliding rear window. Now it's open, now it's closed. And again, this is the control for that rear window there. Moving into our visor, you get a clip right here. You can set any paper product. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror, 2 vanity lights, and then this slides forwards and backwards dependent on where the sun is. Then you get a Bluetooth mic pickup for your Bluetooth phone. You also get an OPU panel over here as well. Visor on that side looks the same. Another Bluetooth mic pickup and a OPU panel on the A-pillar on that side as well. There are a couple of things that I wanted to go over option wise that this one has optioned, at least here on the interior. So again, this has the $1,775 technology package, which gives you the 15-inch head-up display system, the rear view camera mirror, and the adaptive cruise control. This also has the $995 power sunroof and the $325 Z71 package, which gives you the hill descent control. A couple of features that I wanted to highlight that come standard. These are just some key features. These are not all the standard features, but basically you get a 360-degree view camera system, heated front seats, a heated steering wheel, ventilated front seats, front and rear parking sensors, a wireless charging pad, and etc. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at the optional stuff. You can take a look at the standard stuff. Maybe, you know, take a look at whatever you want to, but basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Silverado 2500 High Country is spec'd is $87,160. I know that is a lot of money, but trucks cost a lot of money nowadays, and this is, honestly, considering what it is, it's a very, very nice truck. It's a pretty good deal, considering, you know, some of these Rams are $100,000+. Some of these Fords are $100,000+. Heck, the Denali Ultimate is $100,000+. And you don't really need all that stuff, but this is still considered, in my opinion, a fully loaded vehicle with pretty much every option you could ever want, besides massaging seats. That is definitely a nice option, but do you want to pay an extra $10,000, $15,000 for that? I don't know. That's up to you. You also get a better sound system with the Denali Ultimate and so on and so forth. But very nice package here, in my personal opinion. I think this is all you really need. But I want to show you what we got going on in these rear seats before we moved into the driving portion of the video. So, taking a look at the door panel back here, looks very similar to what you would find in the front. Like I mentioned, automatic down windows back here only, and they go all the way down. Wood trim, you get some of that. Oh, I got a Hornet right here. You get a satin chrome door handle, nicely padded armrest, leather wrapped, accent stitching, nice speaker surround back here, a little bit of miscellaneous storage space. This is what the rear seats look like. You can open this up, you can set whatever you want to down in there. These seats also do fold up. You just pull up on them, you get a little bit of partition storage space. You could set jumper cables or something like that in there. But folding these seats back down, let's step in and see what we got going on back here. So I am 5'9" and I am adjusted behind myself. I mean, you can tell I have just a ton of knee room. I have a ton of leg room. I got a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. I got a OPU panel here on the B pillar, and then up top here on the roof, I got a spot I can set my dry cleaning. You get 2 cup holders here. You get heated rear seats with 3 levels of adjustability. Just keep in mind, the outboard seats are the only seats that are heated. The middle seat is not heated. You also get 2 HVAC vents, a USB-A port, and a USB-C port. You get a center fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage space at the center of those 2 cup holders. Then you get a dome light up top there, and you may be able to tell I have just a ton of headroom. Again, I'm 5'9", so very, very comfortable in these rear seats. Honestly, I'd be very comfortable doing a road trip back here in these second row seats because they are very comfortable seats in and of themselves. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now onto the driving portion of the review, or the low end torque of this thing. I mean, look at the speed, like nothing. Yeah, this thing absolutely hauls. I think, oh, I am in normal mode. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say, with the new Silverados and the new Sierras, they got these massive mirrors. So, you know, in tight quarters, when you're a big truck coming this way, you're a small truck, or, you know, big truck coming this way, you're a big truck going that way, and you're on a tight road, yeah, you kind of got to be mindful of how wide and how far out the mirrors actually go. But, you know, if you're used to driving heavy duty trucks, it's not going to be an issue. Also, it's very nice to drive. It drives very well compared to like the Fords and the Rams, and that's because this has an independent front suspension, where the independent front suspension kind of comes to hurt this is with its towing capabilities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Obviously the solid front axle, it's going to be more solid, it's going to be stronger than the independent front suspension. But if I was to get a heavy duty truck, this is the one I would get, just because the steering inputs are a lot sharper, and it also just rides a lot better, which in my opinion outweighs the negatives of having the independent front suspension with its less, you know, capabilities, let's say. So in my opinion, much rather have this, just because of how well it rides. Also, like when you're trying to look at an intersection, keep in mind the mirrors are huge, so you kind of got to be like, oh, okay, kind of look around them to see if there's a car there, if there's a cyclist or a pedestrian. So you always just kind of got to be on your toes driving this. But with that Duramax, man, so much low-end torque. Honestly, like when you're driving around parking lots and stuff like that, you got to be very mindful of how much you know, pressure you're putting on the throttle, because 0 to 10 happens like nothing. I mean, literally you just press it and it kind of just like pushes you to 10 miles an hour rather quickly. So it's just something you kind of got to be mindful of, but you get used to rather quickly. Also, love the new screen setup here for the 2024 model year. GM's infotainment screens, doesn't matter if it's a Chevy, doesn't matter if it's a GMC or a Cadillac, they're all very intuitive, very easy to use, and they all just work very well. They're not clunky, and that is something that I really like. And I also really like GM's with like the Silverados and the Sierras. I really like their gauge clusters, because the gauge clusters are very customizable, so you can make it pretty much look exactly how you want it to look. You can display the exact information that you want to see at all times, which is awesome, and that is something that I really like, that you don't see really with the other manufacturers. Not as much customizability with like Ford and Ram with their digital screens. So that's something that I appreciate about the Chevys and the Sierras. I mean, take a listen to this thing. I mean, just gobs and gobs of power. I'm gonna do a nice little acceleration. I'll slow down. Brakes are also great. Here's the nice little acceleration, not floored. Giving it a little bit of an acceleration, put us in the fuel level low. But I love hearing that turbo spool up. Listen, if I can hear it. I'm not sure how well it's gonna pick up on camera, but the turbo spool is awesome. I love that about a diesel. And I wish this was deleted, but obviously it's a brand new truck, so that's obviously not gonna be the case. But if I bought one of these, I would definitely not delete it, because, you know, laws and stuff. But it would sound great if it was, but I definitely wouldn't do that. Yeah, overall, I think this truck is awesome. I love all the different things that you get standard. I love how this one is spec'd, because it's loaded up, you know what I mean? You got the rear view camera mirror. I already mentioned this on the interior part of the video, but I really like the rear view camera mirror because of, if you don't like it, you can turn it off. Flip it forward, now it's just a regular auto dimming rear view mirror. However, I really like it because there's a ton of adjustability with it, and then, you know, it's an awesome rear view camera mirror, and it gets rid of your blind spots, which I think is very important, and it just works very well. Again, my personal opinion, some people might disagree. I think a lot of others will agree with me on that, but yeah, overall, for being a heavy duty truck, this thing drives very well. It goes over bumps very well, accelerates very well. Obviously it's a diesel, it's got tons of torque. However, I wish they would give us just 1,000 pound-feet of torque. I mean, literally it's only 25 pound-feet difference, and I know it's just a number, but I really wish we had 4 digits instead of 3. I mean, it's literally so close. It's like, just give us the extra 25 pound-feet and we'll call it 1,000 pound-feet of torque. But it's not that big of a deal. You can't really tell the difference much between 25 pound-feet of torque. Plus, I mean, listen, I'm barely putting my foot in the throttle and we're accelerating at a respectable pace. So, I mean, honestly, doesn't need more torque. Ride's great, sound system's great, everything about it is just awesome. So if you're interested in this particular one, I'll be sure to have Duane's information in the description box down below. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers and I cannot get there without your support. If you enjoyed the video in any sort of capacity, please give it a thumbs up. That really benefits my channel, and it really only takes 1 second to do. YouTube algorithm loves thumbs ups, so please, if you would, give it a thumbs up. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.